What if a single policy decision in Washington meant your morning coffee, your car, and even your weekly groceries could cost significantly more without you even noticing? What's behind this mysterious price hike? And could it be coming to your wallet sooner than you think? Today we unravel a real-life mystery that's reshaping everyday life across North America. In this video, we'll dive into how Trump's renewed tariffs, 25% on goods from Canada and Mexico, and higher duties on Chinese imports, could be stealthily driving up the cost of the things you rely on daily. From surprising price jumps at the gas pump, to unexpected increases on your favorite electronics, and even staple groceries, we'll break down the complex policies and reveal the tangible impact on your household budget. Stick with us to discover how these trade decisions might soon be a part of your daily routine. Chapter 1. The tariff tussle with Canada and Mexico. The most dramatic element of Trump's renewed strategy is the planned 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico. North America's trading system is among the most integrated in the world. In 2023, the U.S. imported nearly 43% of its goods from Canada, Mexico, and China combined. For instance, the U.S. imported roughly $69 billion worth of vehicles from Mexico and $37 billion from Canada, and auto parts reached $78 billion from Mexico and $20 billion from Canada. For everyday Americans, this means that the products you use on a daily basis, whether it's the car you drive, the fruits and vegetables you purchase, or even your favorite beer, could see noticeable price hikes. A 25% tariff on vehicles and auto parts might add thousands of dollars to the cost of a new car, while higher tariffs on food items imported from Mexico could mean a more expensive grocery bill. These aren't just abstract numbers. They directly affect family budgets at the pump, at the supermarket, and on the car lot. The battle over tariffs with our northern and southern neighbors isn't simply about balancing trade. It's about reshaping the cost of everyday products that millions of families rely on. Chapter 2. Fentanyl, border security, and the political narrative.
Because they're allowing vast numbers of people, Canada's a very bad abuser also, vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
A central pillar in Trump's justification for these tariffs is border security, particularly the claim that Canada and Mexico are partly responsible for the flow of deadly fentanyl into the U.S. However, while U.S. agencies report that over 20,000 pounds of fentanyl are intercepted at the southern border each year, less than 50 pounds come from Canada. This discrepancy highlights that the narrative is used as a political tool rather than being strictly based on trade realities. For consumers, the focus on border security might seem distant from daily shopping, but it can have tangible effects. Stricter border controls can lead to delays in shipping and higher transportation costs, which eventually get passed on to you. If increased security measures slow down the delivery of everyday goods from clothing to food, the result is longer wait times and higher prices at your local store. Thus, while the political rhetoric centers on security and safety, everyday life may soon reveal the cost in terms of slower service and higher prices on the products we all use. Chapter 3. The economic rhetoric and impact on U.S.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth.
Trump's economic messaging claims that tariffs will revive domestic manufacturing and protect American jobs. The theory is that by imposing tariffs on imported goods, domestic producers can compete more favorably. In sectors like automotive manufacturing, U.S. companies rely on cross-border supply chains. Parts from Mexico, for example, are crucial to building American vehicles. Studies suggest that tariffs on auto parts could add up to $3,000 to the price of a new car. For many families, a $3,000 increase in car prices isn't trivial. It might be the difference between affording a new vehicle or not. Additionally, higher production costs might push up prices for everyday consumer goods, such as household appliances, electronics, and clothing. When you step into a store, you might notice that the price tag on your favorite smartphone or refrigerator is higher than last year, directly cutting into disposable income and forcing tough budgeting choices. While the promise of boosted manufacturing is appealing politically, the reality is that higher costs for parts and materials could translate into higher prices on the products we use every day. Chapter 4. Tariffs as a revenue source and their limitations.
Do you know the United States in 1870 to 1913, all tariffs, and that was the richest period in the history of the United States, relatively speaking. In other words, relatively.
Tariffs are sometimes touted as a way to raise federal revenue. Yet in practice, while they do generate money, That revenue is modest relative to overall federal income. Recent estimates from the Tax Foundation suggest that even an expanded tariff regime would only raise an extra $2 trillion over a decade, hardly enough to offset the economic slowdown they might cause. For the average American, this means that while the government collects additional revenue, that money doesn't lower your bills or improve daily services. Instead, businesses pass the extra cost onto you, leading to higher prices on everyday items such as groceries, clothing, and appliances. Essentially, you end up paying more at the checkout, which reduces your disposable income and forces households to cut back on other essential expenses. The irony is that while tariffs can fill government coffers, they do so at the expense of our everyday budgets. The extra tax burden ultimately lands on our families. Chapter 5. The broader North American impact. The trade war doesn't stop at U.S. borders. Canada and Mexico, whose economies are deeply intertwined with that of the U.S., are also bracing for impact. In Canada, trade with the U.S. accounts for roughly 18% of the Canadian economy. Recent statements by Ontario's Premier Doug Ford suggest that up to 100,000 jobs in key sectors like automotive manufacturing could be lost if tariffs take full effect. This cross-border economic friction means that everyday Canadians and Mexicans will also see rising prices and job losses. In Canada, higher tariffs could lead to increased prices for essentials like gasoline, food, and clothing. Mexican households might face similar challenges with higher costs for imported goods and potential reductions in wages if domestic industries contract. These effects will ripple through communities, impacting healthcare, education, and the overall standard of living on both sides of the border. When trade partners retaliate, the ripple effects extend to every corner of daily life. Whether you live in the US, Canada, or Mexico, your grocery bill, utility costs, and even your job security might be at risk. Chapter 6. Sector-specific impacts on consumer goods and energy. Let's dive deeper into specific industries. In the automotive sector, tariffs on imported vehicles and parts can add thousands of dollars to a car's price. Consumer electronics, such as smartphones, laptops, and appliances, are likely to see price increases of 5–6%. Meanwhile, a 10% tariff on Canadian energy imports could push gasoline prices up by 30 to 70 cents per gallon. Imagine filling up your car. If gasoline prices jump by even 50 cents per gallon, a family that drives 15,000 miles a year could see their fuel expenses rise by hundreds of dollars. For consumers buying a new car, an extra $3,000 in a vehicle's price tag is a significant burden. Everyday electronics might also cost more, meaning that the latest smartphone or laptop could be out of reach for some. In grocery stores, higher prices for imported produce like avocados and tomatoes from Mexico will directly hit your weekly food budget. These numbers aren't just statistics, they translate into real, tangible changes in how much you pay for the things you need every day. Chapter 7. The future of U.S. trade policy. Looking ahead, Trump has signaled that these tariffs may only be the start. He's hinted at further increases and even reciprocal tariffs on other trading partners, potentially raising the U.S. average tariff rate from 1.5% to nearly 5% over the coming years. While the goal is to bolster domestic manufacturing, such measures risk further disrupting supply chains and increasing overall prices. For everyday families, this uncertainty means that planning becomes harder. When retailers face unpredictable costs, they may delay new stock or reduce product variety. Shoppers might turn to secondhand markets or discount retailers, altering how and where you spend your money. The uncertainty could mean postponing major purchases, such as a car or home appliances, and even force households to adjust their monthly budgets to cope with higher costs. As U.S. trade policy continues to evolve, everyday consumers will need to adapt to a new reality of rising costs and shifting market dynamics. As we've seen today, Trump's tariffs are not just abstract economic policies, they're changing the prices you pay every day. From higher gasoline and car prices to steeper grocery bills and more expensive electronics, these policies are affecting our families, our budgets, and ultimately, our quality of life. Whether you're driving a car built with parts that cross international borders multiple times, filling up your tank at the pump, or simply shopping for groceries, the impact of these tariffs is real, and it's coming down to your wallet. Higher costs, tighter budgets, and the uncertainty of future price hikes are challenges we all need to face. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into how Trump's tariffs are reshaping North American trade and affecting everyday life. If you found this analysis helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to stay informed about these critical economic issues. Let us know in the comments how these changes might impact your daily routine. and what adjustments you might be making to your budget.
Components may also lead to higher service and repair bills, affecting the total cost of ownership. If your dream of owning a Tesla becomes more expensive, you might have to consider alternative transportation options or delay your upgrade to a new, cleaner vehicle. This could also have a broader impact on local economies, as higher vehicle prices might reduce consumer spending in other areas. Chapter 4. Competitive pressure from domestic rivals. In China, Tesla is not the only player in the electric vehicle arena. Domestic competitors such as BYD, NIO, and XPeng are expanding rapidly, often offering vehicles at significantly lower price points while leveraging advanced technology and aggressive marketing. BYD, for instance, delivered around 4.27 million passenger vehicles in 2024 and is steadily closing in on Tesla's global sales figures. Tesla's market share in China has slipped from 8% in previous periods to about 6.4% in December 2024, highlighting the intense competitive pressures that could reshape the market landscape. For consumers, increased competition can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, the rivalry between Tesla and domestic manufacturers could lead to more innovative features, better after-sales service, and potentially lower prices as companies battle for market share. On the other hand, if Tesla is forced to cut prices or compromise on quality to stay competitive, it might affect the brand's premium image. Additionally, a market dominated by multiple players might lead to confusing choices for buyers, making it harder to decide which EV offers the best value and reliability for daily use. Chapter 5. Tesla's strategic responses and future outlook. In response to these mounting challenges, Elon Musk has been vocal about the need to adapt. Tesla is exploring strategies such as further localizing production in China, negotiating improved trade terms with Chinese authorities, and forging strategic partnerships with local suppliers to mitigate the impact of tariffs. These strategic shifts aim to stabilize production costs and maintain Tesla's competitive edge, though they require significant time and investment to implement effectively. Looking forward, the company's ability to adapt quickly will be crucial as global market dynamics continue to evolve under the pressure of trade disputes and technological advancements. For everyday consumers, Tesla's strategic moves will eventually trickle down into the market. If successful, these strategies could mean more stable prices, shorter wait times for deliveries, and a continued stream of innovative technology. However, the transition period might be marked by uncertainty, potential delays in product updates, or temporary price increases could affect the purchasing decisions of everyday buyers. For workers in the automotive sector, these shifts could lead to changes in employment patterns as Tesla adjusts its production strategy, potentially affecting job stability and local economies. In summary, Tesla's record-breaking sales in China in 2024 stand in stark contrast to its global downturn, illustrating both the opportunities and challenges the company faces amid escalating trade tensions. The combined impact of increased tariffs, supply chain disruptions, and fierce domestic competition is forcing Tesla to re-evaluate its strategy. As Tesla navigates these challenges through greater localization, strategic partnerships, and aggressive cost management, the ripple effects will be felt not only by investors and industry experts, but also by everyday consumers around the world. Ultimately, the evolution of Tesla's strategy in response to these global pressures will have profound effects on everyday life. For consumers, the choices available in the EV market may shift, leading to changes in vehicle prices, features, and availability. For communities, these dynamics could influence local economies, from job opportunities in manufacturing to the broader environmental benefits of increased electric vehicle adoption. As the global trade environment and technological landscape evolve, staying informed and adaptable will be key for everyone from industry insiders to the everyday driver. Thank you for joining this detailed analysis. What do you think will be Tesla's next move? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more in-depth insights into the evolving world of electric vehicles.
The world now stands at a crossroads. The decisions made today by governments, corporations, and global policymakers will determine whether this trade war propels economies towards self-sufficiency or drags them into prolonged volatility. One thing is certain: this trade war is not just a battle between two nations, it is shaping the future of global trade as we know it. So, what do you think? Is this economic confrontation a necessary step toward independence, or is it a dangerous game that could lead to long-term economic hardship? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on the latest developments in global trade, don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analysis and discussions on the evolving economic landscape.